I'm like reaching. Hey guys, good morning. I just have my cup of coffee. I hope you have a cup of coffee or tea or kombucha or water, whatever suits you. But cozy up with me. We're just gonna have a nice chill little talk like we were friends chatting about our spiritual journey and what's impacted it and what kind of made it start. It's 7:18 in the morning right now. I wanted to hop on here and do this video before work today, and I'm so excited. I technically have till 8, but I scheduled till 7:30 to do this video, so I'm a little bit behind schedule, but that's okay. I was just so excited to do this video. So let's talk about the books that really catapulted, really just flung me into a spiritual journey that I didn't even know I was about to partake in. And okay, so let's just get into it. My first book that really started me thinking about anything. Let me give you some context first before I give you that book. I came from a very Christian household. Everyone in my family is really religious and really Christian. We all state ourselves as Christian and stuff like that. So I was raised in that. And I really took to that. I really loved having a relationship with God and having a higher power to trust in every day. I used to think how, I don't know how people don't live with Jesus in their lives because I was just so attached to him. It's changed just a little bit. I definitely do not say that I'm a Christian by any means. There's no wrong in Christianity. I just don't like identifying a certain religion. I just don't love organized religions, but they're not bad in any fashion. I really learned a lot in Christianity, and it was there for a good season, and I really think it was meant to be there during that season. So if you are a Christian, we see a lot of things the same. You know, I believe in a higher power. And I believe that God has our best interest and that he teaches us things and all that stuff, but just a little more broad, just a little bit more big, and astrology and all things hippie, I'm just tapping into it. I'm just on the surface. But anyways, that's a little bit of context of I grew up Christian and now I just am starting to explore. I've always been so open. I've never been closed off to anything else, but it's what fit me for a while, and now I'm just like, I've been exploring this for probably 3 or 4 years, just really allowing myself to open up to what could be and what I do like, and maybe it's not what everyone tells you it is. So I do want to say, disclaimer, you're not wrong for anything you believe in. Each person is exactly where they're supposed to be right now, and if you believe in Christianity, then yes, go for it. Hi, baby girl. But if you don't believe in any God or any higher power, then more power to you. Like, that's literally, everyone is just where they should be. There's no judgment towards anyone. If you're Catholic, if you're Mormon, if you're anything, I love you for it, and just keep doing your thing. But all of that to say, thank you for even clicking on this video, because hopefully you had maybe some similar experiences I did, and hopefully I can make you feel a little bit validated in this video. So okay, let's get into the first book that I loved. So I read my Bible every day. I mean, I journaled, I did devotions and stuff like that. My first book that became my second Bible was You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. That book changed my life. I didn't know that we had power through our thoughts. I mean, yeah, like, I knew that as a Christian, I knew I needed to, like, say things right, talk good about myself, and maybe speak some things into existence, as in, like, what's the word? It's like affirmations, but it's a different word for Christians. I hope you know what I'm trying to say, but it's been so long, I guess I don't know. But, you know, I did know somewhat of that stuff, but not to the extent that Jen Sincero talked about it. I mean, it was so, like, you can create anything you want. I was like, wait, what? Like, this is so cool. And oh my gosh, it was so fun. I read through that thing like that. I read it twice. I don't know how many times I read it. It was my book. I would read it and like get too excited because I was feeling this like fire light within me, and I had to like set the book down and like go do something. Like I felt so inspired that I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm so excited. And I'd have like butterflies and like, oh, it was magical. I really didn't know what I was walking into, but here we are. Okay, so then my second book has to be Untamed by Glennon Doyle. She wrote Love Warriors, if you guys recognize that at all. Untamed, it's a book about literally untaming yourself and being free and like letting go, and oh my gosh, it's so good. It is so good. She actually was a Christian, married to a man, and just wrote Love Warrior, which is about saving your marriage. And then she wrote Untamed because she fell in love with her wife Abby. Her life changed. I mean, as soon as Abby walked in the room, she knew she was in love, and she actually had some infidelity in her marriage with her husband, and they're actually on really good terms now. Like, they're such a good family, but she was unhappy, and she had been for a long time, and just didn't know what was wrong, but she thought she was saving her marriage and everything was gonna be fine. And then she found Abby, and I mean, her life just changed. And her book is so, oh my gosh, I would say like You Are a Badass was my entry, like for beginners. Read that if you know nothing about spirituality in the terms of not organized religion and trying to figure out anything. Like if you're at the basics, read You Are a Badass. It's a really good intro into everything. But Untamed is also, I would say, right under that as a good intro for beginners. It's a little bit more like, it's a book for a place that you're ready to take some action and do some things, because it makes you move. Like it made me want to change so many things in my life. It really resonated with me, and the words in that book are so powerful. And then the next one, Don Miguel Ruiz, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but his books are really, really good. I'm reading The Voice of Knowledge right now. The Four Agreements is really good for any beginner in this too. It's a very good like short book for someone who is just trying to get grasp of what anything is really. And all of these, they are pretty spiritual. They're not as sciencey, so if you're more into science books, I don't have as much of those. I definitely go towards the ones that are more higher power and not just science. So that's just me personally, but I do want to expand my knowledge towards just science too, and just more books altogether. Of course, I love Eckhart Tolle. He's amazing. He's the one who wrote The Power of Now, and that one is more definitely for intermediate people who have like really been into. One's a little harder to listen to. Okay, so I'm a big audiobook person. I read You Are Badass, and then as I got older and got busy and started working a lot more, I listened to a lot of audiobooks. So I read The Power of Now on my audiobook, but I didn't finish the whole thing because it is so slow and it is hard to concentrate on what they're saying so much because it's very slow and very like confusing. So that's definitely one to read whenever you're intermediate, kind of been into it for a while, you know. I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't say this one earlier. Honestly, before like Untamed, okay, let me rewind, guys. I read You Are a Badass when I lived with my mom when I was at least 17, and I continued to get married at 18. I'm not married to that man anymore. And so I read that book living in her house, and just about to get married, didn't even know it yet, and things were shifting at that point. And then about a year and a half into my marriage is when I read Untamed. So I did go through a little falling out of exploring different spirituality between getting married and then reading Untamed. I had some friends who weren't encouraging me to go in that direction. They wanted me to read the Bible and stay in Christianity. And so I did, because I did feel pretty guilty about expanding my subconscious and my knowledge of spirituality. So if you go through that, I understand. It's hard when you have friends who are on a little different path than you and you don't know what's up or down or what's left or right and what's right or wrong. It's hard. So I did have a little fallout of like exploring that, but I did finish You Are a Badass and I loved it still. And then about a year and a half into my first marriage, I read Untamed, and she talked about marital problems and like following your true heart, and it really stirred me up. And 6 months later, I did get divorced from my husband, my ex-husband. And then, right after I got divorced, I read The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. I don't know how you say her last name, but oh my gosh. Reading You Are a Badass, Untamed, and then The Secret, I was just like, what is life? What is going on? Who am I? Like, everything shifted, everything changed. The Secret's definitely like very old. A lot of people know what The Secret is, and it is a little like, the more I've read other books, it's very, it like scratches the surface. It tells you some really great things. I love reading The Secret and going back to it whenever I just need that little small reassurance that you create your reality and that your thoughts are everything. But I do think there's some more books that go deeper into the reason why and kind of the science behind it. But The Secret's really good. I love Rhonda. She's such an angel. I got really obsessed with her for a while and just needed to like cling on to her for help, like for guidance, because she was just like a guardian angel in my life for a few months. It was awesome. I listened to every podcast interview that she did and everything. And then I read The Greatest Secret, and I actually have that physical book, The Greatest Secret, and it is so good. Oh my gosh, that book is so magical. I read that and it was like The Greatest Secret. There's two. So there's The Secret and The Greatest Secret. And The Greatest Secret is just basically a continuation of The Secret, but it's just more in depth. And it was her second book, so she had learned stuff between the first and the second book, and she just really poured her heart into The Greatest Secret. She wanted people to have it click through The Greatest Secret, and it really clicked for me. I was like, oh my gosh, like, this life is crazy. Like, there's so much potential, there's so much out there, and I just need to keep going. It was a magical book for me. So to recap all those books, first was You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Such a good one. I love it, love it, love it. The second was Untamed by Glennon Doyle. I mean, her podcast is amazing. It's called We Can Do Hard Things. She's amazing. I haven't kept up with Jen Sincero a lot, but Glennon Doyle and Rhonda Byrne are just the people that are such influential people in my life, beyond their books that they've made. So yeah, she has a podcast, Glennon Doyle does, and it's called We Can Do Hard Things. It's so good. They talk about a lot of raw and vulnerable things on there. But her book, Untamed, is unmatched. Such a good book. And then the third one is The Secret and The Greatest Secret together. I read The Secret first, and it like catapulted me into having to read The Greatest Secret. It was life-changing books that I've ever read. And of course, like Power of Now, anything by Eckhart Tolle is just really, really good for the same type of theme of spiritual awakening type books. I feel like there's some that I'm forgetting, but I've like gone back to the same books for so many things. If I'm going through a hard thing, I have listened through my audiobook to Untamed probably like 5 times. Not even joking. I was going through some shit back in the day. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, I was going through some shit. And I listened to Untamed so many times. I needed so much of her energy. I needed her hope. I needed her love in my life. And I mean, it was something that really saved me through some really hard times. And then The Secret was just the finishing touch. It just sealed the deal of me transforming my life and changing the way I thought and changing the way I acted and boundaries I set and a lot of things. So yeah, oh my gosh, this has been such a good talk. I want to go read these books that I told you about because this stuff is just life-changing. And if you are anyone like me who was Christian and just kind of wanted to explore more but not like leave it, if you still want a connection to a higher power, to God, to someone who you want to trust in, these books are really, really great for that. And they're really good to start to love yourself and start to free yourself and to feel new and just like changed. So yeah, these books will come into your life at the perfect time. And if you're, clicked on this video and one of these books may resonate with you, then maybe it's time to look into it, or even just start looking into it, put it into your cart on Audible, or put it into your cart on Amazon, or look at it at Barnes & Noble, and then maybe think about it again in a month. Like, these things start in very small ways, and it could be nothing. You could read it and not even want to ever read it again, but still get some insight from it. It's just, there's no wrong with any of this exploration and expanding of knowledge. So do your thing, trust your intuition, you are loved, and no matter what choices you make versus what you were grown up with and what you were taught, you are just fine. You're okay. I wanted someone to tell me that. Your guilty conscience is just programmed. It's not accurate. You don't have to believe that. It's not accurate. It just is programmed to believe that, and your poor body needs to just release that stress. And it will, if you want it, and if you resonate with these words of releasing stress from your body, then it will come. Because if you feel anything with that, then it will come. And if you don't, then it may not need to come. It all is exactly how it should be. So don't force anything, just let it flow and just see what happens. I definitely didn't expect me to change my life like it did. I'm gonna upload a manifestation video later on about everything that's manifested in my life after asking for it. I mean, it's just crazy. And it was happening before I even knew I needed it to happen. And then I started actively manifesting, and it's gone crazy. So yeah, I think that's it for today. My coffee's I'm not barely drinking because I've been chatting, but it is 7:40. So I need to leave my house around 8:30 today. So in about 20 minutes, I will pack my lunch, get ready to leave for the day, and I'll upload this video tomorrow. So I'm so excited. But thank you so much for watching this. I hope you get to read these books at some point if you feel called to. And this was such a fun video to talk about. I hope you enjoyed the cozy vibes with a fall blanket and coffee. This is a caramel coffee, so not pumpkin spice. It didn't go fall all the way, but yeah. So thanks so much for watching, and good luck to you in all of your journey and book reading.